Playful Pat and King Tut's Treasures Beyond Gold. By Lisa Kelly. Pat was known to be quite playful. When his big eyes sparkled and his little freckles twitched, you never knew what Pat would be up to next. Today, Pat's cousin Brandon was in town for a day filled with fun and adventure. The boys were building a pyramid in the sandbox when Pat said, "Brandon, a few weeks ago, I found a treasure map in the sandbox. It took me to the 7 wonders of the world." Brandon's eyes widened. "Really? Let's go." "Well, I got in a bit of trouble because I had to move the sand out of the sandbox." Dad was not pleased, Pat admitted. Brandon thought for a bit and then said, "Well, if this is magic sand, maybe if we sprinkle some on our parents, they won't see what we're doing?" Pat shrugged. "Maybe?" Brandon ran over and threw sand all over the parents. It was crazy, they all laughed and just sat there. Brandon ran back, giggling. "Quick! We need to dig before the laughing spell wears off." The boys dug and dug until a tunnel finally appeared. They both wanted to see the pyramids and maybe even go inside one. They took the first tunnel to the left and emerged in front of the Great Pyramid of Egypt. In awe, they approached the pyramid and saw a small door in the back, almost hidden. Most grown-ups would miss it because it was so small. The boys knocked, and slowly the door creaked open. They walked inside and called out, "Hello? Is anyone home?" To their amazement, King Tut opened the door. "Hello, how are you?" King Tut greeted. "We're good," the boys replied. "We just dug a tunnel in our sandbox and ended up here." King Tut rubbed his chin thoughtfully. "Very interesting. I haven't had guests in a long time. Would you boys like a tour?" "Yes, yes, of course," they exclaimed. King Tut showed them from room to room. It was cool, but it seemed more like a big house than a pyramid. So Pat asked, "Is this really it?" "It's just a big house." King Tut smiled. "Well, Pat, I'll show you the coolest part of the pyramid. Please follow me." They walked down several stairs and a long, long tunnel. When King Tut opened a door, he said, "Here it is, my treasures and all my gold. Men have been looking for it for years, but no one will ever find it." Brandon asked, "How can you be so sure?" King Tut sighed. "I made a deal that I would keep my treasure for all eternity, in life and in death. But because of that, I cannot move on from here." Pat said, "The treasures are cool, but can they bring you joy and happiness?" King Tut looked sad. "Well, Pat, I learned that they cannot. I've been very lonely for years and years. In fact, I haven't talked to anyone in a very long time." Pat said, "That's sad." King Tut nodded. "Yes, it is. So learn from me, don't put things over people." Pat thought for a moment. "I don't have any treasures or gold, but I do have lots of toys. It's more fun to share and play with my friends or my cousins than to play by myself." "Exactly," said King Tut. "Now boys, run off and please remember my story, that all the riches in the world do not matter if you are all alone." The boys waved goodbye to King Tut and promised to remember his lesson. As they crawled back through the tunnel and into the sandbox, they knew that the best treasures in life were not gold and jewels, but the friends and family they shared their adventures with. And with that, Pat and Brandon looked forward to their next playful adventure, knowing that they would always cherish the moments they spent together. The end. Hit that subscribe button, leave your comments below, and let us know where you think Pat should go next. The world is waiting, and the adventure begins now.